I have failed utterly at some of my food preservation, but the nice thing about having chickens is it doesn't really matter because it's all going to get eaten anyway. So they're very happy this morning. Lots of goodies for them. So that ticks off a good portion of getting the kitchen cleaned up because I want to come home to a clean house. I topped up their food, so they won't have to worry about that for the week while I'm gone, and I got their water topped up for the day. So that should be, between that and feeding the cats, that should be all that Josh and Avery have to worry about while I'm gone. It's a beautiful day, so I hate to not be able to be puttering around here on the farm, but I do have to run some errands. Some of it's business and some of it is just for fun. So let's head into Cooperstown so I can get the cider for the wedding reception. So I went out to get some things done and ended up bringing home more work. My produce vendor at the Cooperstown Farmers Market had said that last week would be the last week that they would have cucumbers. So I had written off the Thousand Island relish that I wanted to make. Well, they had cucumbers today. And they were nice looking cucumbers. So I have 8 pounds of cucumbers that I need to turn into Thousand Island relish. And I have to do it in the next 2 days, which means I have to do it now. So we're going to grind up cucumbers and onions and peppers and put them into soak and then make the relish. So let's get going. surprise while I was out. I had to run out to get the peppers and onions to do this relish. And when I came back, my handy guy had come and taken the skid steer. So I have space in the yard again. Now what's going to go here once I get this cleaned up and organized is I have a hydraulic log splitter that I want to put there so that I can take those bigger logs off the wood pile and split them into smaller, more manageable pieces. I will want some of those larger logs, but I don't need as many as are in there. They're like a quarter of a log, and that's just, it's too big. It doesn't fit in my fireplace very well. So, but that's a project for after I get home. For right now, those cucumbers need to sit for a while, so I'm going to do some cleaning inside until it's time to come back to those. So it's dark out, but of course the sun sets at 6:45, so it's only a little after 7. But I got them done, and I even managed to get housework done while I was waiting on these, so I'm still on track for the trip. I'm really pleased with how much I got out of that. 8 pints is definitely going to last me through the year. I love this relish. It's called Thousand Island relish, and it's a mustard-based relish. I don't usually eat a lot of mustard or a lot of relish, but one thing that I do really like it for is when I have hot dogs on buns, I love relish, onion, and mustard. So here it is all in one convenient jar, and I just love the flavor of it. So I've got that taken care of, and I think that's going to do it for me tonight. I've got some part of a bed I need to haul upstairs, and that's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to make my dinner, and I hope you'll come back tomorrow and we'll wrap this up and get ready for this trip. All right, here we are at T-minus 1 day before trip. And I am not going to subject you all to watching me change litter boxes. But the one job that I do need to get done today, well, one job that I get to do today, my mentor Steve, you probably remember him, has come over and is going to take a look at these hives with me so we can figure out if they're okay and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, if there's something weird that we need to correct for, or if I just need to write these hives off. So let me get changed and get the smoker going, and we'll head up to the bees. All right, so we're up here at the hives. Steve's going to be my cameraman in a minute as I pull this apart and look at it. But one thing I'm looking at right now that's making me nervous is there's not a lot of traffic here at the front gate the way there has been. And that's true on both hives. So maybe it's normal. It's kind of a gray. It's not raining, but it's kind of damp. So maybe they're just not flying today.
Yeah, it's better that they're both like that, because I think it's just a little cool, and
there's not a lot of food out.
Not a lot of resources around.
You can see all of the goldenrod that's been out here all fall is mostly done. So
yeah, yours is tapered off.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give this to you.
Its belly.
The only problem I'm having, and you'll see it on this box, is I'm only 5'1".
Yeah.
And that is already getting to the top of my reach.
Well, this looks nice. It's nice and active there.
So this is the one that wasn't doing much. So I put the feed. A lot of ants in this.
That looks good.
Right. So maybe.
Where was the feeder? On top of that. Okay, that square thing. Gotcha.
Now see what I'm seeing. Well, it looks like maybe they're doing a little more. There's no comb on here.
Right.
They haven't drawn anything out.
Okay.
Of course, now that I say that, this one has some drawn out. Oh, and that one's got honey on it. So never mind. Okay, so they're drawing comb out good. This one has capped honey on it.
Nice. They're doing bee stuff, which is very good.
Well, like I said, 2 weeks ago, this was empty.
Oh, wow.
So
that's some really nice honey on that side.
All right, so I'm going to not worry about decompressing or topping this one off. Because that is one thing that I'm finding is it's a lot easier to take the box off if I've at least loosened up all of the frames.
Oh, yeah, I never thought of that because they stick to the bottom
Right.
one underneath it.
The burr comb
That's
connects to the next box down.
really good point.
Okay. Peek in here and see that there's lots of honey in this one. It's just like these two frames don't have much going on yet.
Oh, and that is great. So just to point out, you got plenty of room in that box.
Yeah.
And it's already being drawn out. And you got a lot of honey in this box, so that's great.
And I'm figuring the brood box and 2 mediums to overwinter.
Yep.
And anything beyond that is mine.
Is it, it's just lots of honey, huh? Yeah, it's going to end up sticking. If you...
They're too pissed. I don't want to. They always win, so.
Yeah. I'd continue with a little more smoke. Uh-oh.
Let me know if you need to beat it, because you are much less protected than I am.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go put my gloves on. They've decided to find the sleeves of my shirt.
So, like, these outer frames have no drawn comb on them.
That's okay. That's quite common.
Honey.
And there's spots for where brood was in
Right.
there, I see.
And this, I mean, there's some brood space. But see, on this side, it's nectar. It's all nectar.
Yeah. Not seeing any capped brood though, right?
I was seeing it more on these frames. Nope, that's now all open and that's all nectar. And the same on this side.
Okay.
And that's again all empty.
Little
I
bee
see
bread,
some bee
but-
bread, yeah.
I don't see any queen activity,
No.
any recent queen activity there.
Now there's,
Lots of bee bread, but still,
and is that that's a cell, right? A queen cell?
this is all just like burr comb on the bottom.
Okay. I'm thinking that thing right there.
Oh, yes. That's, it might even be a supersedure cell.
So-
which they would have built if they knew the queen was not good. So
Well-
that may be what happened here.
And so I may have screwed things up because the last time I was in here, I was removing a bunch of queen cells.
Well, they have that supersedure cell, so you got a lot of bee bread and a lot of nectar. Just unfortunately no sign of a queen yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's too late to requeen, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
With that supersedure cell, there's at least, I'd say, let's say a recognition by the hive that they were having queen trouble.
Okay.
So where she is, or if she is, we don't know. She
Well, and-
might still be in there.
Did I do damage by taking out the queen cups and the supersedure cells that I saw when I was investigating this 2 weeks ago?
It depends on if you saw a queen or queen activity when you did that. Okay, then you might have left them in
Okay.
and let them go through that. But since you've got the one supersedure cell, you only need one.
Right. So we're going
As
to
long
cross
as
our
they
fingers
laid
that
an
one
egg.
got fertilized. And,
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no wax on that.
Yep.
There's no wax on that.
All right. Did you purchase the waxed
Yes.
foundation? Okay.
Because I'm lazy.
Well, no, that's the way you should get it anyway. And once you develop some more wax, then you can paint more on.
So there's no wax on any of these.
Nothing going on any of that. Good.
So
Okay.
I'm thinking I need to just take this box off for the winter.
Probably, let's see what's down here. But yeah, they're not going to have enough resources
To make more wax.
To make wax. So I think you're right on. Get rid of this box and don't leave them all that work.
Now this one is much better distributed.
And they've had more time to fill out everything. Yeah. Would be expected.
But I do still have empty frames on the ends, or on this end. So they're just starting to draw out cones.
Yeah. It took a while for me to kind of get my head around the three-dimensional aspect of this,
Oh.
where they're kind of football-shaped in the middle, and it gets out to the edges, and there's really not much in there.
And that's, see, nothing on this side. That's all honey.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll do that.
I keep getting these vibrations in my palm where a bee has gotten under my tool. It's just buzzing away.
I have worn rubber gloves sometimes, and your hands get a little sweaty, and the sweaty rubber rubbing against your skin feels like a bee vibrating.
Oh no.
And it just makes you so nervous. Well, she may have had enough room to just keep, yeah, you know, they have brood and it hatches, and then she relays.
So this is empty. They're just starting to draw out on this side.
Okay, common theme, we're used to that. They tend to move up rather than sideways, so...
Well, then why the standard 10-frame box?
Well, if you only had 8 frames, then they'd only do the 6 in the middle.
Oh, okay. See, so that's all honey and nectar.
And nectar. Okay.
And no brood. And this side they're just drawing out.
Okay. Wow.
See, but that's all honey.
Yeah. And that's one of the originals, and they probably gave that to you as honey. So the pattern, the comb pattern, is a little bit funky because that was sort of artificially put in the hive.
Now here.
Now that they would have given you probably had brood in it.
Yep.
So you can see where there used to be brood.
More on the thing.
Yep. Okay. You requeened
That one.
that one? Okay.
This is the one that swarmed. Or that we know swarmed.
Okay.
And no brood. No brood.
Same thing. Yep.
And even I did see some brood on here when I expected it 2 weeks ago. It's all gone. I've gotten much more confident since I got the full suit.
I bet. I'm ready to break down and
Okay.
do it too. Same thing, a lot of bee bread.
Oh, fuck. Okay, we're done.
Take a walk.
I got one in my hood.
Oh dear.
I was saying to Steve, I've gotten much more confident since I got a full bodysuit. But the minute you feel a bee in your veil, that's it. I'm done. I'm out.
They get inside and they can't get out.
And somebody's gonna pay for it.
Yeah. Here, I'll give.
The only time I get really mad at myself putting the hive back together is when I forget to take the shelf off and put the box on.
Oh,
I've done that twice.
I can see why that would be a problem. Do it all over again. So same thing, lots of very nice honey had been drawn, and there's just no sign of a queen in there.
And this one I didn't see any queen cells.
No. Now, do you have a top vent hole?
It's on the back. It should be on the back. Yeah.
Okay,
There.
gotcha. Yeah, you
And
think
that's
it...
why I push it that way to make sure that that's open.
Perfect. You always think of the chimney effect, and that allows a little bit of air to
Yeah.
go through and pull condensation out of
This
there.
I'm just going to leave here until at least tomorrow. And then I'll just come out and collect it after the bees have all left it.
Good
And I
plan.
think that's it.
They'll all go right back into their hive.
Okay. So let's go back down to the house and talk about this. So, as you probably gathered from the conversation Steve and I were having, we are not seeing any queen activity in either hive, which is concerning. Now, the one hive did have what's called a supersedent cell. It's basically a queen cell that's in anticipation of the existing queen not being able to do her job. And if you'll remember from my last inspection video on the back hive on Villainy, I was taking out all those queen cells last time. And what I'm concerned about is that those were the fertilized potential queen larvae, and I took them out. And if there is no queen left, now there's no one there to fertilize more eggs to make a replacement queen. So I may have, in effect, dequeened that hive, which is going to ruin it for the winter.
Let me just mention the difference between the queen cells and the supersedure cells.
Yeah?
You have the frame that quite often will build queen cells on the lower edge of the frame.
Okay.
A supersedure cell is more apt to be up in the middle someplace on the surface of the frame.
Oh, okay.
So that's why the one that we saw looked more like a supersedure cell, because it wasn't along the bottom edge, it was up into the surface of the frame.
And you said it was empty, but it looked like it had been full at one point?
Probably was, just given the timing. We got bees all over here. Given the timing, I would say there probably had been one in there and it's out already.
Okay. So what we're hoping is that either there's a virgin queen in the hive who just hasn't gotten to work yet, or she's gone out for her mating flight and she's going to come back and start working. Otherwise, we think those hives are probably toast, because we're going to double check, but we think it's too late in the season to requeen, because she would need to eat a whole lot and lay a whole bunch of eggs in anticipation of winter. There's not a lot of room left for her to lay those eggs, if she even exists. So we don't know. So we're going to treat them like normal hives. We're going to pack them up for the winter. When it gets to be time, we'll do whatever treatments we need to do. But it's a pretty good possibility that I'm going to be starting from scratch next year with those 2 hives. But it won't just be from scratch, because I will have those existing frames of honey that I can use to kickstart the next batch of bees. Either I will take some of those frames and extract them and put the empty honeycomb back in the hives for them to clean up and use again, so they won't have to go to all the work of drawing out that comb. Or I'll put it in honey and all, and they can use that as food as they're getting started. When we got the nuke boxes, it came with 5 frames of existing hive, if you will, but only a couple of those frames were brood, and the rest were honey and bee bread to give the hive that jump start to get going. So I'll have that all ready. I got stung.
Oh no.
Too much hand movement. Ow. Oh.
On your lip?
Yes.
Is it out?
I got it. Yep.
Oh no. That's going to be puffed.
Yep, they're on there. All right. I'm going to...
Live action stinging.
All right. Quick education. And something that I only learned this summer after I had those awful stings all over my legs. When you get stung, you need to make sure to scrape that stinger off right away, because the stinger is actually 2 pieces with a poison sac on the top. And once you get stung, those stingers start going like this and working their way further and further in, injecting poison as they're going down. And so if you don't get that stinger off, you're going to get a much bigger dose of that bee poison than if you scraped it off right away. I am seeing a lot of bees spinning around out here. They seem to have followed us down and are just catching up with us. So I think I'm going to throw these in the shed and head in the house. But Steve has invited me to come over to his place to check out his extraction. And I would love to do that if you're still up for that.
Yes, we can do that. We can get some cement blocks.
And let's get this taken care of.
Okay. I can warm it up in here, because it flows, of course, much better once it's warmed up. Messes all over the place.
This is your decapper?
Yeah, I'll show you what I do for that. This is an oscillating.
Oh, yeah, she was talking about that.
So, get on the comb and buzz the
Very
caps
cool.
right off with that.
Because I have one of those. And then the caps go in here.
Otherwise, if you don't have the oscillating tool, you can use this fork and you slide that along. You take this and you work it across to try to take just the caps off and leave most of the wax comb there. But it's work. You know, you've got to work in and out of the cracks and things like that.
Now, what about the hot knives that I've seen?
The trouble is, look at this. You see how far below this surface this comb is?
Okay.
The hot knives are flat, so if you went along, it would miss a lot. You wouldn't be able to cut off. That's why some people put 9 frames in their boxes, in their honey supers.
So the comb gets deeper?
10, so the comb gets deeper, and it'll be up, bulging above, and then you can take the knife and cut it off much better that way. warm up the frames in there with some honey filter, and that will gradually drain down in and leave quite a bit of honey. There's quite a bit when you cut it off because you can't regulate the height very well. Take those out, put them into the extractor. Now this is, Janine and I had quite a discussion yesterday. She puts them in this orientation, which is tangentially.
Okay.
Tangent to the rotation here. It rotates like that. It's made so that you can put them in radially, and that's the way I had been doing it.
And you can fit more in that way.
You can fit many more in. But we had quite a discussion, and when you do it like this, I had trouble. The inner surfaces didn't clean out as cleanly as I had wanted. So there's a lot of honey left in there.
You think because they were spitting on each other?
Yeah, I think that's what happens. It flings out, but then it ends up hitting and then running down the next one. So she said she has been doing everything tangentially, which I'm just trying, and I like it a lot better. It cleans it out a lot better. So it gets a lot of the honey out. And the only issue is once you do it like that, it gets the outside surface. Then you got to take it out and turn it over and do it a second time. But given how much more honey I'm going to get out of each of the frames, I think I'm going to do that.
Good.
So I'll do them all tangentially, just 4 at a time. And then you take the wet frames, they call it, when you're done. And I've got all these done. They're full of wet frames. They've been spun out. And I'll take those boxes and set them on top of the hives.
For them to finish cleaning out.
And they're going to finish cleaning it out. And they'll get the dabs of honey in there.
Nice.
It's a feast for them. It's late in the season. It's another great resource.
Easy food.
Easier than feeding them, yeah.
And how much do you have left to do?
I got one more box in there. I think I had 7 boxes.
Nice.
All together. And times 10, about 70 frames, 65 frames maybe. So
nice.
Quite a bit of honey.
Yeah, that's great.
Under the extractor. Accumulates in that bucket. I've got a few of these honey buckets now with the honey gates on them. And then we go to the bottling, because it all flows much easier when it's warm.
Right. Which is part of the problem, judging by the countertop. Very cool.
So then we can just bottle and cap them here.
Nice.
This, I guess I'll just keep squeezing and squishing, and given time, a lot of the honey will come out.
Okay. And then once you're done with all of your extracting, then you'll process your wax?
Yeah, you can wash this again. Once you've gotten most of the honey out or let it drain out, then you can wash it and get the rest of the honey out. And then you can take that and you can melt it. Put it in some cups or something.
Oh my gosh, that's gotten really bad. I hope it goes down by next weekend. So Steve gave me the cinder blocks to put under the one hive because the legs look like they're going. I'm going to put the camera on this side so it's not as obvious. No, it's still pretty obvious. I'm feeling a little bit like Two-Face from the Joker series. But anyway, so I'll take those out and put those under there tomorrow, because with my luck, that's exactly what'll happen, is they'll collapse while I'm gone and destroy those hives. And I don't need that on top of everything else. That pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to do today. Tomorrow I have to take the car in to get checked out to make sure it's roadworthy to get to Pennsylvania. And just packing in bits and pieces. If I do anything interesting, I'll take you along. And otherwise, I hope you come back and see what we get to after the wedding. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.